Alright, I'm back. So, time to get to this tree stuff. Okay, so things I want to do. There's a weird bug. I see I have a mention on Hex Channel, I'll get to it in a sec, but there's a weird bug where, do you see that? That was bothering me quite a bit last time. Where, like, the branches are drawn wrong, and I want to look into that, see why we're getting that. I think that has to do with the fact that I changed the branch order. I want to fix that. And then once that's done, I want to see about moving these points around via interface. And then we'll call that a day. First, let's take a look over here, see if I've got anything. Oh, no, it's just the break bot. Okay, we're good. So, let's see. Um, oh, that was too far. Colors, code, out color, math. Okay. So the first thing I said was I want to look at that issue with the branches being weird. Don't notify me. Okay. And I want to just start in the debugger actually. It'll be the first thing I do. So we're not even using 4coder because we got to use the debugger, and you know I haven't made a debugger yet. Okay. I want to see this loop here. And I'm gonna wait. We get a little bit farther along. Throw you up. All right, let's take a look. So let me. Whoops! I don't want to edit the code. Not edit the code. Top. The stack. 16 elements. Now let's underneath that so that we can go. It. Right in that. Couple of is. Here's our stack on the left-hand side. Anything else I want to look at? I want to look at here. I want to see TP without the extra single quotes. I want to see the vert. All right, cool. So we have a position child count, right? One child is good. Very good. Not done yet. Next child, child 0. Get this one, that's 1. Got a child, so push it onto this top stack, and that increases top. They do child 1, child 3. Oh, I see. Okay, so not done. Then we take the next thickness point, and trick will, its position should be left. Children 3, and it's gonna do left 1, 2. Ninja the Creator, what program are you using? I'm using Visual Studio. The debugger part of Visual Studio. Unless you're talking about this one, in which case I'm using 4coder. But that was pretty old, so I don't think you saw that if you're new. But if you did see it, that's what it was. It was 4coder. Now you know. So let's see. Vert position. Vertex. Children 8, 9, 9. You can't have the same child twice. So up here, I haven't Popcorn OX90. I haven't uninstalled Emacs yet. I'm switching on Friday when I make a build. And Part Z Poe, Parts Po, whatever you want me to say when I say your name. I'm doing the tree generator project was something I originally conceived when I wasn't testing 4coder very hard. I wasn't doing very rigorous tests. Like I wasn't carefully testing that everything worked. So I needed a project to start sort of dog fooding and now I do pretty much everything in 4coder, so it's not strictly necessary that I continue testing with the tree generator. Uh, but the thing is, I want the tree project to keep going because I don't want to like leave something unfinished. I was kind of interested in how the tree went as well. All right. So anyway, like I became interested over time in the tree itself, and it's basically just a thing to get me practicing, making sure I checked 4coder. So da, da, da. The thing I'm curious about is I bet I start that all 0 and end here. Yeah, okay. So I guess I know what's happening. I'll let it through a couple of times. Somebody had the same child twice. And if I remember correctly, last time I did a thing where I started trying to delete that break. Or I started wanting to, and let me stop breaking for a bit. Okay. Now you can see I came through there 3, 2, 4, 6, 5, 7, 8, 9, 9, right? And the trick is J did end at the actual branch count, which is 2, but I didn't clear the rest to 0, which I should have done. So now it thinks it's going to 9 twice. So let me fix that. 350. What I'll do is I'll say for j less than 3 plus plus j, vert children j equals 0. Ninja the Creator, there's no download link on 4coder.net right now. The only downloads available are on the Patreon, which it is on the alpha. If you click on alpha on 4coder.net, that takes you to Patreon. and then it's at least $1 a month to get the download. Once I have a proper working like solid version, I'll make a free version. But right now it's in development, so it's gonna be until I'm done with the development of the first chunk. It's on uh Patreon paywall situation. Okay. Okay. Got a new version. Think the nasty branch problem is now. Alright, so some things. I don't like the fact that the side branches grow even when the front branch doesn't grow. That's one of the things I've been most displeased with recently. I'm not sure I love the length algorithm right now. It's a little bit like only one option now of what kind of lengths you can get. Uh, the uh, the plan with 4coder is that eventually there will be a free version, um, and it'll be maybe on itch.io or something, and the people who are on Patreon will then be converted to the second stage of 4coder development, which will always be behind a paywall. The higher level part will not be free, and you'll still have access to that as Patreon backers. And then once that's done, I'll close the Patreon, and anyone who backed will either get the copy or get it reduced by however much they've paid, basically. Right? They'll get the copy of the non-free version, but there will be a free version eventually. But there'll also be a non-free version pretty much forever as well. Okay, so that's my plan. Anyway, this right here was what I was looking at last time, and I came up with this idea of wait time step decay. It was all kind of a bit of a mess, and the thing I've got now isn't super awesome. I'm gonna say let's just go back to the days of you being like, yeah, that? Yeah, why is it so short, these lines used to be longer. These ones are all like so short. Oh, I know what parameter that is. That's the... Okay, right, I do have one other thing to change. Boom, make you bigger, make you bigger. This one, yes. Wait, okay. I'm not totally sure that parameter is working. What's the last parameter? I remember adding that and I was totally happy. Seemed like something was off, so let me track that down too while I'm sitting here fixing bugs in this thing. So it looked like this last parameter here, center branch weight. Okay. Yeah, so let's say for now that we don't do that at all. Why is that initial branch size so constricted now? It used to be bigger. It does, yeah, that does look kind of it used to actually get. About the How am I computing weights these days? Did I change how I compute weights? FuCon, the next build is this Friday is going to be mostly a bunch of bug fixes over the last one. But the build after that, the next new feature build, yes. The next new feature build will contain um, command line parameters. It will contain user setting file. It will contain maybe auto tab even, maybe not. I want to get to auto tab really soon. Um, if it's not in the next feature build, AutoTab would be in the next feature build after that. But I'll right now I've already started the command line stuff, so I'm gonna finish the command line stuff, and the user setting stuff is pretty related to that. So not on Friday's build this week, but the next time I release a feature build, which shouldn't be more than like a week or two after that, it'll have setting stuff. Go. I can't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll have autocomplete as well. Okay. So tree skeleton gen. Where comes all this crap about? I feel like I just changed something in a way that I don't really like anymore, and I'm trying to find all the things that I little bit screwy. Min weight threshold is fine. Okay, so how am I computing weight? That was actually one question. Oh, I'm taking the average weight. Yeah, so let's say that we go back in time to when I was not taking that as an average of things, and I was just adding them up. That may have been when I liked it more. Yeah, I mean, it's Crazy Town, obviously, but it's a little more flexible, it seems. I wonder why that is, too. Seems to just be more like what I want today. Did that can get that? That's a okay. So yeah, this is kind of more back to the way I like it to look. Go that way. Interesting. I wonder if I want a slider between how much, uh, like, well, okay. So there's something I've wanted to do for a long time, and I think that it's definitely a good time to do it. If see here these branches that come out sideways, I don't really love them. I've always kind of wanted to say if the center branch doesn't go, then the other side branches don't go. So let's look at how I do that. We come in here. So I decided average count. I just prefer not to have that. That was a little misstep. Okay, so block others equals 0. Now, the idea is we come in here and we don't put down this branch for any reason. Then, if I equals 0, block others equals 1. And same thing for this case. And then right here we'll say if we're gonna put something in, it's got to be the case that if yeah, we'll just say and not block others. I don't have B32 defined in this project. Well, now I understand why there was a discontinuous jump in the branch sizes before. I know what that was coming from. That had to do with the average stuff. That. Things we. A little weird. Okay. The next thing I said I wanted to do today was the ability to move these points around. I probably at some point even want to be able to add and remove them. I'm going to just say that we keep it at 3 and we can move them now. So, that is in that color stuff. Kind of sick of having dead code around. I think it's safe to say that that's over. Not sure why the lines weren't. Map is correct. Lines weren't mapped. So that is a new bug I haven't written down. File open again thing wrong. Okay. That's because of. But anyway, what I want to do is uh in here after all of that stuff, be able to say, actually, I deleted code that was actually gonna be kind of useful for this. Do all that. Okay. Yes, this code here actually involves clicking on points already, so let me keep it around. The idea is going to be I'm going to do a loop across all of the, let me pop this here as wrapped. This wrapping setting is right, they are wrapped. Spot. Okay, there it is. So I want to loop over the params hotspot count inch that I can get those hot, something like this. Back to spot pointer hotspot params dot hotspots plus I. Right, so that gives me the hotspot. Next point. If do button id plus plus mouse I equals bars p moving. I really want is index thing. So I need to start overloading this point moving stuff in the future. That'll be like I times I times or I plus let's give it that. So this one here I'll just increment for each set of things that wants to move points around. And if index is the point I'm moving, I need a rectangle and mouse consumed goes okay. Bars p moving equals I. At each step, rect.x0 rect.x well rect equals, do I have a radius rect radius thing? Point rect around point. 2. So at each step, rect will equal the rect around the point of the hot spot with radius 3. P. Bars P. Around. Instead, what I want is just vec2 star P. Thing I want to make. This code is obsolete now because it doesn't use the new system, so I'll switch to that being correct. Bye, but this part right here we can keep. The idea will be that bars P move to match the mouse. The thing, where do I set the movement index? Guess right there when I click the button, which isn't. So you're all gone. I don't need you ever again because you're gone. 2 tabs everywhere. Okay, good. And finally, if mouse PL, not mouse PL, then bars P moving equals -1 again. The order there doesn't super much matter. G. And like that. Yes, 313. Hit the wrong key combo again. I keep doing that because on Emacs it's Alt G and on G. I should set this to Alt G since I do that. So P equals 0, and down there where I've got back to P, I want to do if not equals. Get crashy. Appear to be pickable. I can see that they're clearly buttons now. Let's walk through under the condition where mouse PL is true. Alright, so that'll break as soon as I click here. So, y equals 0. Relevant hotspot. I know what's going on. I never set p. I set 2 layers here, and I said to myself, if p does not equal 0, and I thought, now I can have bugs where I forget to set the p pointer, but that's okay because it's worth it. And then I didn't even realize that I already have that bug. But now it's fixed. And like I said, totally worth it because it's so easy to fix. Breakpoint 2. Boop. Boop. Okay, so it's not working. That's good. That means there's more to debug. Boop. Ignore it. Ignore it. Ignore it. You know what? Actually, you shush, because I'm going to click for a bit here. Boop. Hmm. 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 All right. So now, why can't I move? Get a hotspot. Okay, that's where I set this on. Good. 400. Get an index. A great thing. Rect equals index equals moving. It's not. I go in there. What does my mouse say? Show me. 399 100. And the rect. 397 403 97 to 103. I'm well within the rect. Am I active? No. So the non-active version goes. Raws. If the mouse PL, if I do a check there, X is less that. That's returned true. Result equals 1. Mouse consumed equals 1. Now my P moving is set to. Oh, it's set to I. That should be index. Anyways, P becomes hotspot. I here again. Shouldn't get these, so none of those change. Here. Okay, got it. Got it. Okay. So the way this used to work was kind of janky, and I'm going for something a little smoother now, so that's not correct. That's the way it was written, but that's wrong. Oop. Go. I want you I can move the guy a bit, but he's not staying clicked. I think that the problem is just that the button logic isn't very good, but I can do draggable, right? The idea there will be a little bit different. Do button. Go. Do draggable. Okay. I32 ID. State active. Blah. Active. Draw this. If I'm inactive, draw that. If mouse PL check. Not sure why that wouldn't work actually. Now that I look at it closely. Still don't like. Let's get through next. Index. Not keeping clicked, which is annoying me. And a part of the problem is this here ID, which I messed up when I first started. Should actually be still not working. So right back, you left side, check. Let's consume. So it's weird to me that when these were designed, they were designed to be once and then they do their thing. Holding them doesn't do anything. I think PL means press left. I probably want something other than PL. So it's like, let me look at the base here. This is one of those ones that's got like some flexor bug. Mouse state, L and R. Got it. R. So I want while L is held, not being held, and do draggable should only care about if like so. Dang. Okay. L, yeah. Definitely getting mouse L because it's clicking. Why did guy become that guy? Or the next one? Not -1. L 0 guy. What? 405. Did Alt G again. Not plus P moving, just vars P. There we go. There we go. 3 points so it can work. Ah, fine. Shrink. Now we got something cool to play with. Putting it farther away only has the effect that lasts long. Farther reach. Get that old fashioned that I used to get. Whoa, that's weird. Gotta move down. It's pulled over. Like, thought I put. Yeah, that's why I was thinking do average, because having two of them means it grows much, much faster. Having one of them, just one, means it's sort of just 1 point means it sort of behaves like it used to. So I thought take the average so that it's like as if there's only 1 point available. Average just so. I feel like distance away should factor. Like, when I put these super far away, I want it to mean that the branches don't grow as much. makes the color, and that's the name. And now I can see that the points don't quite have the effect that I would want them to have. Definitely need to figure out some way of normalizing them a little bit more, because I want this to be like the normal look, and that the points sort of edging it a little bit here and there, rather than totally controlling it. So, I think I'll leave that for next time, though. We've got a pretty cool thing there. Let's do a little work on 4coder before the day is over. So let me shut down stuff. Oh. This will be the last time I ever use Emacs on stream, probably. Unless I fail to uninstall it and then fall back on it at some point. At least on Windows, maybe if I stream from Linux. But, yeah, let's do 4coder development. So, first things first, let me make sure the to-do list is up to date. Actually, first things first, let me get to the right directory. Then let me make sure that it's up to date. Right, there's a weird thing where I noticed that the Lexer doesn't treat the word unsigned as a token, or as a keyword, for some reason. There was with shift plus backspace, got that one. File, open, same to setting wrong, and the show white space isn't working. Alright. Now, as you can see, this right here is the top of the list, and that's actually the one that I'm kind of working on. If you take a look, you'll see that it actually doesn't build right now. And so the thing I was just running is actually the latest build, not the thing I'm working on now. And what I've added is I've added this concept that some people who have keyboard layouts, let me do a quick example here. Say I switch to the Finnish keyboard layout. Then when I do right Alt or Alt GR, 8 and 9, those are my square brackets. 7 and 0, those are my curly brackets, and so on. And as I understand it, some of them wanted left control left alt to just be an alternative for hitting alt greater on those keys, rather than the uncomfortable like thumbing alt greater and then hitting those. They wanted to be able to hold control alt on the left side and hit things to get the same effect, which makes sense. So what I wanted to do was offer that as an option, and now that it is possible for the code to switch it, I'm trying to make a UI that does it. So we're actually going to start with, I'm in the wrong, there we go. Config.h. Brand new file. We're going to put this up next to color view. I can grab a copy. Custom. Is 2016 January. It is the 27th. Okay, all of these things are set up just correctly now. And config view. Now, this is just going to be an abuse of my old UI system. I know that I want to replace the UI system, so this whole thing will definitely be one of the things that becomes a hassle when I convert over. But for now, I'm just going to go with it. So every view starts with a view base. And this particular view is also going to want a some sort of pointer to the settings struct, which, let's see. forehead. Let's see. App setting. And here's what I just wanted to say. B32 left control left alt is alt greater, right? That'll be an app settings app or thing, and then during the app step, we'll just say at the very end, app step. I don't have put end of app step. Right here, result, alt or L control L alt greater is app is bars, what is it called? Bars settings dot L control is alt greater. So we'll just put that, and that goes to the operating system level, which detects controls and alts on either side and figures out when things are greater and when they're not, and such, and when to decode with controls and alts and when to not decode with controls and alts. It's actually kind of a terrible mess. I mean, not my mess, it's Windows mess that I've detangled, and so this is a nice little interface where I can return whether or not I want it to interpret the next frame of input with this rule, or whether I want it to start interpreting this input via this rule or not, right? And that is about as precise as that gets. And then config view will take a pointer to the settings struct. All right. Let me pop over here to color view again. Actually, that's a bad example. Let's look at menu view. That's a nice internal i32 step draw menu views. Now, one thing I don't like about my UI system is that I have to, since I wanted to write it as one single function whenever I was laying things out, I had to combine step and draw in a kind of nasty way that I'd like to start to work on doing in a smarter way, since now I understand some stuff better. Stage. Alright. And let's see. I can actually just copy most of this because the UI code itself, the API is actually somewhat usable. Grab a UI state. Do need one of these. Inline menu view. View to menu view. View. It's a little boilerplate that I have to do. Whoops, shouldn't be menu view. That should be config view. It's a little boilerplate that I do to set up some safe converter functions for each view type. Config view. View type config. Config view. I wish we kinds of that. Go over here to app target blah blah blah. Where is color? Include forehead config view.cb. Awesome. All right, and then still have that enum in layout. I kind of want to get rid of the enum someday. I'm just not sure how I want to do that yet. And I got a question or something. What did Insobot just do? That wasn't like a random thing, right? It was. So Insobot says modules for Mr. Fourth Dimension, alias, link info. Oh, those are different ways. Those are different like dictionaries that it finds words out of and treats in different ways. Is that the idea? So it says like it's an alias, as in that's somebody's name. Link info. First, I thought that was a randomly generated message. I'm pretty confused. I get it. Now I get it. Oh wait, that's for this channel. That's the modules it has under this channel. Is that what it's saying? Does it do something like for? Why does it list my channel name that way? That's kind of odd, I think. But I'm just curious. All right. Anyway, we do that semicolon. Cube app settings are. Oh shoot! App settings isn't declared yet. Is that the problem? That's going to be a problem. Right, app. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna have to do. I always end up regretting um, combining things in a sloppy way. So we'll do fored app settings dot h there. Right, this is already available right here. Grab a copy. Go. Arm done. Go. Okay, so this guy can see the app settings struct now. Should be file. Should be config. Right. Okay. Back to menu view now. We need a few other things. These aren't the only things I can get away with. But this isn't. I can't get away with just this. I need a UI state. I'm gonna need a style. I'm gonna need a font set. Probably at the bare minimum. And pointer. Wonder if that's actually gonna be a bug. No, it works. Okay. Man, fonts. Okay, yeah, so you have a font set and then you get your font ID from the style. Nice. So Insobot's got a 4coder alias now. Awesome. All right. So, do have that is good. Okay. So then, what I actually need to do here is do viewsig, do config view. And what I'd really like to do is just have like a do UI view and consolidate menu, config, and even the color one into one UI view, and then just have like a driver. So I make a UI view and I attach it to a driver that drives the content in that particular UI in way, right? So the driver is like a pointer to a struct that has some callbacks or something, so that I can do different things. But that's like my new idea for how I want to structure this a little bit better um, in the future, so that I don't have a new view type every time I want a new menu or something in the UI, uh, and then I don't have to use the UI actually at all. Like the thing that actually does the work would just crunch the output from these callbacks. It's kind of a, but anyway, um, big view, config, config view, con config view. See, this is just a bunch of dumb boilerplate that I do every time I add something new to the UI. Alright. Config view. Style working set. Don't need set or delay. New type config. Do config view. Do try config view. Equals the casted. Style equals style. Font set equals font set. That should do it. Really want the work set. Oh man. Right. Steel Golem, not today. Friday, I'm going to uninstall Emacs though, and Vim. Well, maybe not Vim, because I mostly just have Vim in order to experiment and learn about it. I don't really use it for anything, so I guess I'll leave it since I don't know how to use it. Once I learn how to use Vim, I'll have to uninstall it though. I had to say that because that sounded hilarious in my head, so it seemed like it was something where I had to say that I would uninstall Vim once I. Alright, the good news is we don't need delayed actions. So, here we go. Config. Go back because I went too far. I should keep one around. Config. Do list option, and then the option is going to be toggle or left alt control plus left alt equals alt greater. Right, and then all I have to do is take the view settings, alt left control left alt is alt greater equals not blah 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 blah. get to you soon. So back to the config view file though. Not quite happy with that because that's going to toggle it, but I wanted to use a slightly more advanced thing. This is where color view does come in. Not do list option that I want. It's do I want an extended version of do list option basically. Yeah. Internal B30 do checkbox list option. And then I want all of the stuff that this has. I don't want bool 32s. Checkbox string text, and then I want B32 is on. Now, I go to draw this, I get the interact, I do all this work. Inner part, x equals x dot 0, y equals y 0. Okay, so basically, I want a square rectangle real quick, or at whatever speed we can achieve, really, will be fine. And I want the square dot x0 to equal the inner dot x0, and I want the square dot y0 to equal dot y0. Then what I want is side length. I would like for side length equal inner dot y1 minus inner dot y0, right? So really, square dot y1 will equal inner dot y0 plus side length. And same thing with x. That makes a nice little square. And I can do draw, well, if is on, to draw rectangle, target, square, right, not comfortable with that, target, square, and which color? We have back, foreground, and pop, and outline. I think I should check, but I think we'll go with outline, maybe. Else, draw rectangle. I believe there's a draw rectangle outline. Rectangle outline. My draw rectangle draw margin is what I want. Draw target. Draw margin. target square. So I'll do the outline, and then what I'll do, whenever I'm going to draw a margin, I'm allowed to, instead of specifying the inner rectangle, just specify the width of the margin, and then inner is just, and I believe I have a function for this too. Might not be in here, might be in math. Rectangle stuff, yes. Hit checks, positive area, get inner rect. That's the one I want. Get the inner rectangle by taking outer rectangle and the margin, and then drawing the margin on target, outer, inner color. Cool. Now I can go back over here to the config view, where I'm in the wrong place. And now I can go over here to the color view where I'm in the right place. When I draw a margin, I ask for a margin of 3, maybe a margin of 2. We'll see how it looks. And then the last trick is, let's see, to drop that down to another line so it's readable, and to say that this is equal to the, or plus the side length. Plus 2. Now, config view init. Let's talk about this problem. Config view. Okay, so the config view init function. View. It wants options. Okay, it wants this. Color view is a little bit of an outdated system. Its init doesn't appear to have been in place when I first started. And the fonts. Weird that I happen to know which things I was going to want ahead of time there. And then I'm not using the config view for anything. You're totally right. Why would I use the config view for anything? I don't have to set everything inside. Application step result L control L alt is alt greater. Alter, however, is not the concept we're talking about here. Look, go to app settings. The only thing I see here is L control L alter. And I go, no, it's supposed to be L control L alt. I was being a dipshit. And then there's a couple more, just like that. And of course, this is supposed to be do checkbox list option, so that should give me an error. And the fact that it didn't was a little bit weird, but now I understand. And now we can copy this in there. Whoops. Into there. Ah, voila. What? There we go. For layout options. Didn't work. Settings is 0, that's the problem. Okay, so settings needs to be a part of the init function. App settings. Result settings equals settings. Bars settings. Go for layout options. All right. So now it's on. Now let's test it. Switch to finish mode. Test. Switch out of finish mode so that I know where everything is. Get over here. Switch into finish mode. Do Alt greater 8, 9. Okay. What about if I do left Alt left Control 8, 9? What if I turn this off? Left Alt left Control 8, 9. It works. It totally works. That's awesome. Alright, I want to make this pretty, and then I think we can call that a day. So, the box shouldn't be so big. It should sort of shrink inside. So the thing I did was um, um, insofar as, yeah, 4coder handles multiple keyboard layouts now. It handles any keyboard layout really. It just doesn't handle. It still doesn't handle uh, non non ASCII characters, but it can type in the keys in any way it wanted. Like in any way the user wants to type in ASCII characters, it can handle that now. It can't handle such situations as that character there and that and that. It ignores those key presses. If it sees a key press for something that it is not ASCII, it ignores it. Okay. I'm gonna go back to color view, and I want to spend a little bit of time prettifying this right here. So this side length thing. What do I actually want to do with you? Let me see if I can find there's one other spot in the UI where there's a checkbox, and I want to make them match. So, check. Check. File. I believe this is the spot. Not okay. Box. Here it is. Button. In this particular do button, it has an extra. Okay, so let's go to do button. Okay, here somewhere. Do button. There it is. Okay, if it's a toggle and it's on. So if it's a toggle, we make an on box, get the interact button. Okay. Gotcha. So the trick is that when we want the square, it doesn't have anything to do with side length. Square on the inside is the inner rect of the rectangle we're already on, and character H over 2. We already have character H, so that's good. And then the only one that has to change is that X becomes X0 plus square square y1 minus square y0. So that makes it a square. And then X just needs to be really square dot x1 plus a little. Okay. And I felt like 3 was, or 2 was too thin, and 3 would have been better. Layout option. Okay, now the box seems too small. So half of character height is a little too much here. How big is this thing to begin with? It's character height over 2. Let's say that it's 1 full character height then. That's weird. Steel Golem, I'm not using UTF-8 because it's just an extra thing to think about, and I don't really care about it for writing C code. Someday I'll implement UTF-8, but for now, I'm just ignoring it. If I let UTF-8 characters in, uh, right, if I let them in, I have to change how the font rendering works to not have bugs. I have to change how key codes are encoded. I have to change lots of layers of things. And I'm gonna do that someday, but right now nothing's built to handle that, and I'm being very intentional about that because I'm focusing on other things. Someday I'll put UTF-8 in though. So, in the meantime, that was particularly weirder than I expected. So let's say I take the character height and I just say let's go for a specific number, 6. That work. Well, I guess I can understand why character height actually by itself didn't work. Let's say character height over 3. I think 6 would be starting to understand why I saw what it. There we go. Maybe 3 as a margin is too wide. Let me open up this guy. Yeah, I guess he's using 1 as a margin. I like that better. So we'll switch to, and I want that to be the top color. Outline, no, we're going to call you pop. See if that's, do you with a 1. Hmm. Foreground is with the text in, back is that, pop is red. I want margin active color, I suppose. Something like box equals grab the margin active color, these with box. No, this color. Perfect. That's what I want it to look like. So, there we have it. That to-do item is done. We can now properly toggle left control, left alt. So, pretty good. I wonder how I'm doing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I feel like that's only getting longer. Like I put 3 new ones in and got 1 done. But my plan is whatever is done on Friday, maybe I'll get actually this one is done. I'll probably visit this one and this one. Get a few of these easy ones ready to go by Friday, and then we'll make the switch. Uh, Alright, so that's it. Thanks for joining me on the stream, everybody. I'll sit around for a second, see if there's any last minute questions. That'll be the end for today. Alright, everybody. That's it for today. I don't see any questions, so bye bye.